Okay, welcome everyone. Tonight with the Gauntlet, we are playing 316 Carnage Amongst the Stars by Gregor Hutton. This is our 22nd session of this campaign in the final sector. My name is Donna, my pronouns are he, him. I'm jamming the game tonight. So let's get a quick intro from our players and their characters. Let's go, I guess, rank seniority order, top to bottom.
Well, we've got two majors, right? So isn't that?
Yeah, I think BD made major first, so he is.
Okay, there you go. All right, cool. So,
Seniority.
hey, I'm Jim Crocker. I play and run a whole lot of games on the Gauntlet. I use he/him pronouns. You can find me on Twitter at Jim Likes Games, just like it sounds. Should I tell you who my character is right now as well? Is that how we're doing this?
Go on, yeah.
Donna, cool. I am playing Major BD, the BD standing for button down, because he had a rep from the jump as someone who knows the regs and can quote them chapter and verse to you. And what that means is that in any given situation, he may have a way around what you want to do by knowing an obscure regulation, that supersedes like what the normal regulation would be, or that, and I think as things have developed, it's not so much that he is like a hard ass about following the rules exactly. It's that he's really good at covering everyone's ass by knowing a rule that you can use to cover your ass. And I think that is kind of the sort of the direction that we've gone in. He has risen up the ranks fairly quickly, and we'll see how high that goes. Looking forward to, going. I think I'm up against Terry to see which of us gets, like you said, gets Lieutenant Colonel first. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, and speaking of someone who is writing regulations to try to head off his people. Yeah, Brian, how about you?
Yeah, Brian, he, him, and I'm playing Major Terry Miter, who was a trooper under Sergeant BD way back at the beginning of this game. And then he ranked up to Sergeant off screen, basically came back to the game with a bunch of other troopers. So Terry became the sergeant for that group, and then has ranked up from there. And Terry started as very nervous as a trooper, and that's translated into just like a lot of like kind of hyperactive energy as an officer, and taking that extra energy to say rewrite the field manual section on the proper use of grenades, because he didn't particularly like all of his troopers blowing each other up.
Okay, cool. And Puckett, how about you?
Hi there, my name's Puckett. I use he, him pronouns, and I am playing Lieutenant Dietrich, who should not be a lieutenant. He probably shouldn't be a sergeant. He probably should still be at most a corporal, but through sheer luck and perseverance and killing pretty much everything that moves, he has risen to this rank with a bunch of awards for killing lots and lots of aliens. We'll see how long he lasts as a lieutenant. Given his career trajectory, he's probably going to get promoted again. And I am going to continue to fail to understand how that's possible. But he is the very model of the modern Peter Principle.
Okay, cool. And lastly, Rich.
Hi, I'm Rich. I use the he, him pronouns. I am playing Trooper Frost, who's been a trooper. This is only the second series I've played in, so, he just hasn't had a chance to make rank, and with this mini majors, I don't think he will, but he's surviving.
Cool. And I have a note from last week, Rich, that you should take an advanced, either NFA or FA, so bump one of those by one. That's some paperwork we forgot with all of the court-martialing. Okay, so I think we want to start with a little slice of life from all of our people. The Atlas, the task force has been kind of making its way through this sector. There is a big science facility, the Brocquy science facility, in a system sitting all by its lonesome. And you're going there to pick up some new experimental, or maybe not so experimental, tested weapons at least, to destroy these blue crystal aliens that you kind of put at the center of trouble. So yeah, I want to find out from Miter. I think the Brigade has been doing a lot of training recently, right? Ramping up for this dangerous enemy that you got your target sights on. What kind of things have you been doing? And like, how is this pushing your people to their limits?
Maybe some kind of war games exercise where squads take turns being the aliens versus being troopers. So they're either like trying to mimic their tactics or fight against them.
Yeah, something like that, I guess. Yeah. So yeah, maybe give me like a vignette of what that looks like for you guys.
What do these aliens look like?
So these were the well, there was blue crystals right in this world that were kind of infecting some people, and you picked up some survivors from the 229, another brigade who were infected, and it was doing something very funky with any aliens who came in contact with them. So I mean, what that means for their tactics, I think you can fill in the gaps, but I'm sure you have intelligence to support any kind of drills that you can dream up.
Yeah, so I think it's some kind of really unfair scenario where like any casualties on the troopers side then get like marked as now crystal infected and return to the fight, and so they just yeah, it's very unfair. Like you're eventually just going to get like overwhelmed when you're on the trooper side, but I don't know what the trying to picture like what how do you get marked as now you're like.
Yeah, I think with the HUD displays and the IFF, remember that we were playing with last week. Maybe there's something with that they can do to switch your sides for the exercise.
Yeah, or maybe just like you've got a die pack that just
just go blue.
just splurts you, and it's gross, and and it smells bad and stuff. Like I feel like that's
and then just immediately whatever officer on the alien side immediately just starts barking orders at you. So.
Yeah, cool. Okay. Dietrich. I mean, I think as players, right, we know that last week Dietrich messed up with his leadership of the platoon, but during training, I think this is the first time that Dietrich really realizes how bad things are when he almost gets fragged, right? He almost gets some real unfriendly fire put in his direction. What do you think happened there, and how did Dietrich escape this dangerous situation?
Same way Dietrich escapes everything, killing everything in sight. I have a sneaking suspicion that we were using our weapons that we would actually carry with us into battle, but they've been converted to basically fire some kind of IR light so that so that enemies that took damage would be noted. And saw the friendly fire incoming and responded the way Dietrich responds to everything. Just, okay, it's gonna be like that. It's gonna be like that. And pulled the trigger. So what's the line? You come for the king, you best not miss. Something like that.
Sure.
So if you're coming for the guy with the highest kill count, that is just a staggeringly ridiculous number of aliens, you better make sure to get him the first time.
Yeah. So yeah, I think there's a this isn't some ham-fisted attempt, right? Because these people, like maybe a couple of troopers go for you, like they know what you're capable of, and maybe there's like a moment there where a normal human being would have been worried, but obviously not Dietrich.
That is.
What do you say to the higher ups when there's like an actual death in the drill? How do you write it up?
I wasn't actually killing them. I was using the IR rounds to tag them as enemies.
Okay.
That'll. I have made a mental note of what has gone on, and we'll do some hand-to-hand drills later.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, I thought maybe that you had really killed them, but that's okay.
No. Dietrich's. If they are not using actual rounds, and this is one of those things where we're using die packs and our IFFs to figure out who is an enemy and whatnot, and there's no actual weapons involved in terms of actual lethality, Dietrich's not going to escalate to that point. Now they try to roll a live grenade at him, that'll be a different story.
Okay. I guess this is the opening salvo, right? Still just trying to dent this miraculous facade that people have of Dietrich. Okay, cool.
I mean, is this a thing where somebody could just like get killed because they fall the wrong way, or like they're they have a heart attack or something like that, or they're overstimmed or something?
I mean, there's always ways for people to die horribly, accidentally on purpose. Cool. Rich, how about Frost? You and Oreo cooking up any madcap schemes this week?
Madcap schemes. I think Oreo and I are working on a side hustle where, they're starting to charge more and more for limited supplies in the mark. So we're trying to grab some stuff, recondition things, sell it on the side, barter, trade favors, that kind of stuff. It's mostly to pass time, but it gets you some notoriety too if you happen to have a pack of smokes that somebody can't normally afford with their marks.
So a nice little, light black market to go with the gambling and.
We call it a gray market, because black market sounds bad, and gray market's just helping the spice flow or something like that.
Okay, yeah, cool. And let's go around to BD. What's the deal with you and Special Studies Group 17?
Well, I think that, I wasn't on the last mission because I was part of an extended, I've been remanded to Special Studies Group, right?
Yeah.
So I spent the last, while they were on planet, I've spent the last mission, the last few whiles, intimately engaged in our efforts to develop a countermeasure to the blue crystals. And because I've had field experience with people who've been infected by them, I've been exposed, but for what as far as we can tell, not like it didn't affect me, right? And so I think that I have, is Spudmeyer still alive? Is Spudmeyer still around?
I do not recall him dying horribly, so let's say he
Okay.
is. Yeah.
Okay, so I think I pulled Spudmeyer, and he is now my like cameraman, videographer, you know, like kind of like basically like my communications secretary now, right? Because I like pulling people from our unit to do that kind of stuff. So I've got Spudmeyer with me, and we are and me and my buddy Borowski are basically in charge of, so the I think that like we don't really care whether these experimental weapons work or not. We're pretty certain that they're you know, they're fine. Weapons development we have down. It's the it's like these countermeasures for the like basically it's like essentially it's the vaccine against the oh, you know what, let me pause for a moment and ask if I'm talking in terms of this like blue crystal as being like infections and inoculating against it and stuff like that. Is that okay with everybody as far as, you know, skirting the line with pandemic stuff goes? Or is anybody uncomfortable with that? We can reframe it if so.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to do it, just check in before we start talking in that manner. So yeah, so I think that we're, you know, concerned with that, and you know, wanting to see how these work and stuff like that, and so I think we maybe have like an alpha test version that we've, you know, tried out, you know, whatever, like I Am Legend style on, you know, already infected troopers, and, you know, that we have brought back from missions, and, you know, and it hasn't been promising so far.
Yeah. There was that trooper from the 229, McCready, right?
Yep. Well, there was two of them. There was where were what? I got their names. McCready and Ward.
Yeah.
Were the two, and I think I've gotten to know them quite well, because we're getting a lot of, you know, like kind of our line of cells that we do the tests on come from the two of them, and whatever variants between the two of them, and, you know, and we're not, I'm not interested in getting into a thing where we're like infecting people on purpose and they don't know about it or anything like that. So this is, you know, it's you know, and anybody that we're going to give this shot to, they're going to sign a waiver that says, yeah, okay, you can give me the shot. I mean, will any of them read it? Probably not, because that's the way the military works. But, you know, but everybody will officially have, you know, agreed to whatever treatment we're doling out here.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I think you the Atlas is swooping into the system to pick up those weapons. This secure station, the Brocquy station, and, you know, as soon as you you know, get into real space again, everything goes haywire. There's like a 2-second delay when things return to normal, and then like so an airlock just randomly opens, and a couple of troopers just get flung out before emergency systems kick back in. The lights go out before emergency lighting comes back on.
Oh, gravity gets fucked up. Probably that's a lot of fun when that happens. So yeah, sure. Half the ship is floating, the other half is slammed into the floor.
Yeah, so I don't know how we've gone into the mechanisms of how anti-grav works, but we can I don't know. Do people want to go hard sci-fi and have like a rotating thing, or we just so magic anti-grav, right?
Star Trek anti-grav.
Okay, yeah. So like you have your moment when you come out of hyperspace, because we never have anti-grav in hyperspace, right? And people, secure themselves because of the 5-second warning or whatever, and then they go about their normal business, and then they, like in random parts of the ship, they just start floating again, right? And then you hear some munitions going off, some big wompy missiles just getting fired off, and you don't know what they are doing, but no good to whatever's out on the port side. So yeah, what are people doing in this kind of chaos? Rich, let's start with Frost.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys have ever seen the anime Sword Art Online. Not Sword Art Online. Shoot, now I've forgotten the name of it. Dang it, it's on Netflix. Let's just say there's the cool stuff where they will lose gravity, so everybody has these belts with like little carbine clips, and everything has railings in that setting. And I think there might be a little bit of that where he's like carbine clipped himself do a thing, and he's in an area that has 0G, and he's trying to grab onto a couple of his fellow troopers who are about to head up and bump your head pretty hard, because at some point you'll run into something.
Cool. How about Dietrich?
Sorry about that. I was having problems with my mute button. Mostly, I'm kind of more or less strapped in and bolted in, but I'm still experiencing the weirdness of the weight changing. And it's like, I'm basically like, I'm basically in a crash couch, but it's still just, you can almost see like mostly in the face, like, the cheeks kind of pull back almost a little bit, mouth opens a little bit, and then the gravity gets lighter and kind of starting to float just a little bit. More or less, it feels kind of like a roller coaster. And I kind of miss that feeling.
Still sitting in your bunk, just enjoying the ride, huh?
I mean, we're out here. It's ugly work. We have to find enjoyment where we can, right?
Yep. How about Miter? What's he do?
Probably trying to contact I don't know, whatever it is, the engineering, the engine room, trying to get some kind of status report on like what's going on, how long is this going to last, what caused it.
Yeah, I think the lines are busy, right? They're no one's
Sure.
picking up. They're full tilt on trying to figure out exactly what's going on with all their systems. But I think you pull up your comms panel, and you have like a kind of an alert for officers. Hold firm. Investing in alert condition in the fleet. Something very generic but really worrying. I don't think you've seen this before.
So if communications are limited, he's immediately trying to recruit people that he can send to the various parts of the ship and report back. And telling them to report back to him. He's trying to get to some kind of hub so he can be, get as much information.
Yeah. I mean, you can probably get your way to CNC. It's a hive of activity at the best of times, but someone will have an answer there, right? BD, what's the plan?
I think I am immediately on comms, and the first person I'm calling is Dietrich to tell him this is not a drill. We're not fucking around. Suit up now. Meet me outside of meet me in the corridor outside of R&D. This is if this is a targeted assault, this is where that's where they're going to be going.
Bring weapons,
Yes.
live ammo,
Yes.
sir. On it.
Yeah, not a drill, Dietrich. I'm not kidding. This is not a test. This is not a drill. This is a genuine emergency. And then I'm gonna suit up because I've got, like R&D, we've got combat gear there ready to go, kind of next to the exit if we need it. So I'm
So I think we have so I think the ship is most definitely under attack, right? So I think maybe trying to settle yourself down in this corridor, Rich. Frost gets to see like some shadowy tentacle or something, like just get through one of these bulkhead doors, right? So it just slides through this, allegedly airtight armored hull.
Awesome.
So that's vaguely worrying. So let's see if we can't get a dominance check together for this first encounter. Let me put some aliens on board. Okay, so who's going to be rolling for dominance?
I'll roll.
Rich, are you going to join in or are you going to hold off?
Oh, sorry. I thought it was one person rolling for
Oh
dominance.
no, so it's as many people as want, but we should usually get a declaration before anyone rolls.
If I don't roll for dominance, I don't act, or
no, you do act. You're just not adding your role to the mix. So the balancing act is here if you think there's a possibility that the guys with good NFA could like win by getting an ambush. So if the aliens miss and everyone on your side wins,
because my NFA isn't awesome. So
okay. So
got 2 7s.
I will tell you, it's this planet probably not going to be a big deal. So you got a higher success, but not an ambush. Okay. So
ambush is if we all beat it.
If you all if you all succeed and the aliens fail.
That's right. Aliens got to fail for the ambush. That's right. Okay.
So between BD and Dietrich, you both got 7, so you get to decide between what range things start out at.
I mean, I feel like on shipboard it makes sense for it to be close.
Yeah,
I mean,
it makes sense, but why don't you choose what's good for us?
Well, close is good for me. Yes, yeah. Sorry. So yeah, near. I think is
cool.
is the optimal for everybody. So
yeah, for sure. So we got our usual kit, I guess.
They're down the hall and not just like right in our faces.
That sounds good to me. Yes. I mean, we'll see how that goes. So they are trying to kill you all. No surprises. Is everyone reciprocating, or is someone trying to do something smart?
Never let it be said that Dietrich did something smart when he could do the opposite.
Shooting.
Shooting
Sounds
okay.
good.
Shooting sounds good. Okay, so let's kill.
Line him up.
Whew, close, Rich, but no cigar. Everyone else got
So
a
close.
success of some option. So yeah, let's
Did you
do
want to
this.
use
So
Did you want to use your combat dregs?
oh yeah, so
Or hang on to them?
combat dregs
Yeah.
gives you a reroll on FA on your fighting ability. If you roll a 10 on that reroll, you inflict a kill on yourself.
The
course
alien's
I
got a
wouldn't.
9, so you're unlikely to outroll them, or maybe impossible, probably, with your
Yeah, I
fighting
can't
ability.
because
So
I have
it's
my
not-
fighting ability is an 8. So I'll just eat it.
Okay.
Thank you for the suggestion and reminder. Though.
Plus, remember, you heal 1 wound like level
In
in
between
between
encounters,
each
yeah,
combat. So like kind of the first injury,
is free.
sort of.
Just gonna point out the aliens succeeded on a 9 there. That is, yeah, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Feel like the third level fighter that's hanging out with the 12th level party.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've got a higher fighting ability than beating, I guess, is what we can say about that.
Yeah, and strengths, and you can force weakness, which
Yeah,
is the,
yeah.
that's a
So
cool
this
thing,
is an ability we have seen a little bit in the past, but it's available to only the lowest ranked PCs, and once per planet they can attempt to force weakness on another character, which is to say you can try to get them to use one of their weaknesses, even though that's not what they want. So, and this is, I think, troopers backbiting or passing rumors and about their officers and trying to get them into trouble. So one for the back pocket, which if you feel like kicking up. Okay, so on a 9, the aliens get to kill everyone. So everyone take a kill. So you're a mess unless you want to take that on armor. And yeah, I think these guys are, like I said, they are made of like pure shadow, right? And they are slipping in where they shouldn't. You can see on a couple of unlucky troopers, they are like enveloping them and like seeping through the cracks on their faceplate into their armor and just like eviscerating them from the inside almost. So it's pretty gruesome stuff. And then they are hitting you, and again you can feel like their icy cold, tenebrous touch inside your armor, like cutting through your usual thermals or whatever your bodysuit is like inside there. So yeah, not nice at all. So so from top to bottom on successes, we have Dietrich first. Oh, and on the alien turn, they rolled higher than everyone, so they are dragging you all in close because they hate freedom. So yeah, so Dietrich, you get to go next.
So they changed range on us, huh?
They did.
Well, damn it. Okay, so I can switch to my power claw with just instantly. Doesn't take a turn.
Yeah, exactly. You could still use the E-cannon for a lower result, but yeah, you can switch to the power claw.
With the success on the combat roll, does that let me change range as well after I shoot?
So you need a success and higher than your opponent.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, I'm just going to switch over to the power claw, And as I wade in and start stabbing away, I start singing. I'm fixing a hole where the rain gets in to stop my mind from wandering. Just stabbing away at shadow.
Okay, so why don't you roll those kills?
And that is 1d10 on my power claw. That's a 9.
Pretty handy.
That's better than I've been getting with my E-cannon at times with Betsy.
Last week, Betsy had an off week.
Yes.
Yeah, and it is biting on them. You know, they are definitely feeling it. It's not like they are incorporeal or anything. They're just sneaky hostages. Okay, so next we have Major BD with a 5.
Yeah, and that's, you know, sidearm back into the shoulder holster and, you know, my power claw comes on and I, you know, adopt the like official, you know, by the training manual power claw stance. And, you know, as the, and like, I'm not like Dietrich wade in and go after them. I'm like, you know, they're basically keeping them away from the lab, right? So it's as they come at me, I am, you know, cutting them off, shredding them, yanking them towards me, you know, clawing them down and stuff. But I'm very much more like holding off a siege than actually, you know, like wading in and singing or anything like that. I holler at Dietrich to get off the comms, but I don't think that's guy. I suspect he'll probably keep singing, but I feel like I need to, you know, for the record, say that I gave the order to keep the comms clear. So
maintain radio discipline.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Comms discipline. Yeah. So here we go. So I actually have 2d10 because I've upped my power claw. And this is 18 kills. Yeah. Snickety snick. Wolverine style.
Nice. And Brian, Miter has a 4.
I think I'm going to stick with the E-cannon for now, just in case we get pushed back to further range, and take out 3 of them.
Okay, cool. So like, what does the E-cannon look like at close range? Is it like a dissipated effect, or is it just too concentrated, or what does?
or are you just clubbing them with it?
No, I think it's not designed for this close. So I think it does an enormous amount of damage to the 3 that it kills, but there's a lot of wasted energy there. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I think there's a moment of respite, right? You've kind of cleared your zone, and maybe you're thinking about trying to get back to each other, and like all of those, all of that vapor, right, from those killed aliens starts to recoalesce. So I'm spending a token to regenerate. You keep the kills, and I'm returning all tokens that were killed in that combat round to the board. So yeah, like I think there's you have you know, you kill these guys and they are definitely down, and they are definitely dissipated, and then you turn your back on them and they are just seeping back up into the corridor. Yeah, so that is not good, as they say. So next round. Okay, so let's go around. What's I guess everyone? Oh, okay, Dietrich is definitely waiting in. Anyone doing anything different?
I'm gonna switch to my flame gun, I think, to see if like shredding them doesn't seem to work. Let's see if incinerating them does.
Okay. Okay, you got a 10 there, Rich. Are you gonna up these combat drugs, or just?
Yeah. Yeah. I'll do the combat drugs.
Your other option, of course, is at any point you can, use a strength to just win the encounter through your own awesomeness, or
Yep.
or a weakness to get out of trouble.
Not in trouble yet, so I will use the combat drugs and roll
Okay.
another 10.
So that 10 is a kill on yourself. So you hit the trigger on the combat drugs, and they mess you up real bad.
Awesome.
Okay. So the luck is not with you tonight, I guess. So everyone's killing. Let me roll the attack. A 9. So that is higher than everyone again. Yeah. So they are inflicting a kill on everyone. Rich, I think you probably have to take this on the armor, right, to survive?
I already took a hit to my
Oh,
armor,
okay.
so
this
I'll be
will put you down
crippled.
to crippled, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and I think these guys are so close into you now that maybe you don't get a chance to react when they, or not much of a chance to react when they come up at you. And, they are grabbing the weapons, and like the shadow are just going through your gloves and up your arms, and, feels like, I don't know, pins and needles turn to 11. Okay. So then we have Miter with an 8. Who am I missing? Yeah, Miter with an 8. Okay. And that's with the E-cannon at close range again.
Yep.
Okay. And we have BD with a 5.
Yeah, and like getting hacked, I step back into the lab, and I grab the I smash the glass, and I grab the flamethrower that we use to incinerate anything in the lab that gets away, right? Like the emergency, sterilizer unit. And now I've got that out, and the little, flame pops out of the front, and I prime the tank, and I'm ready to go with it.
Okay, cool. And then we have Dietrich with a 3.
Yeah, I took BD's order to heart, surprisingly enough, because I always listen to BD. So you just hear on comms a wet squelching sound, and it's just Dietrich basically punching these things, stomping on them, stabbing them, maybe even biting them, which wouldn't make sense. He should have a helmet on, but it's Dietrich. So, and that is 1d10. 3 more down.
Okay, cool. And Rich, what does it look like for Frost?
I mean, it looks bad. He's a mess. He's crippled. I think he's kind of clutching at his armor and floating a little bit because of the carabiner, and it's looking pretty terrible. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, Jim, you did kills with the same weapon, or you swapped weapons?
I swapped weapons, and
okay.
and the flame gun's not a free swap, so I had to actually spend it on it.
Okay. So I got 2 tokens out there. Okay. Okay. And next round, aliens are closing in for the kill.
I'm gonna take a stim pack for that and see if my combat drugs will help me out here.
Yeah, same actually.
Nope.
Okay. So aliens on a 5. Who's beating that? Dietrich with a 9.
And you hear more. It's just stuff that you shouldn't hear. I mean, it sounds like he's fighting Jello at this point. So like the squelching sound from before now just sounds like he's punching liquid. And that is, again, 1d10. 1 kill. Apparently apparently one of these things really makes Dietrich mad.
Yeah.
And then because it's a 9 and higher than the aliens, he doesn't take a kill this turn.
You don't take a kill, and you can, if you want, change range. That will probably be entirely academic by the end of it. But you never know. You never know. So the aliens roll a 5, as did Miter. Okay. So, Rich, here's your, I think, your moment of truth, right? I think if the aliens act next and they're going to do a kill, you got to either use a weakness or a strength to get out of this alive.
So the question I have is, back during the original series, I used the strength, so I don't have it anymore, right?
Yeah, so you use 1 strength, I think, and 1 weakness, if I remember.
Okay.
So
he has
and
not
you've
used the
unlocked.
weakness.
Actually, you didn't use a weakness. You used 1 strength, so you got 1 unlocked strength and 2 unlocked weaknesses. So you can use either.
Oh, okay.
And actually, the weakness is probably more efficient here. It's like fictionally bad for you and might have repercussions, but you're a trooper, so it won't. And a weakness removes 1 threat token. So if you use it, you both survive and you get rid of that threat token.
Okay. I'll use the weakness then. That
Okay.
sounds like a thing that would be good to do.
So yeah, we have I guess we're going to have a quick flashback now, which explains the weakness and then how it kind of gets you out of trouble.
Yeah, I think the flashback, is the flashback supposed to be like before the war, or can it be a flashback?
It can be whatever you want. We've seen both. We've seen ones to like basic training or coming up in the ranks, or ones to like when you're a kid back at Earth or whatever makes most sense.
I think we see a quick flashback to Frost and Oreo as they're scrubbing the deck, one of their wonderful menial tasks, and they're joking around about the airlock off to the side from this area where they are. And in his panic, Frost realizes, hey, if I can just vent everything but me to space, I'll probably be stuck in the airlock, but likely have enough oxygen to survive. So he quickly crawls away using the rail, goes into the airlock, and just slams a thing, and then all the crystal and smoke and everything is sucked away, and he's got his mashed armor and everything, but it's still a vac suit that he luckily had on. And yeah, he's just in there while it's venting to say space getting colder.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that works. So yeah, that is the encounter over. So
what's the name for that? We're supposed to give those a
yeah. So you give your flashback a little label that we write in, and then we remember what it is. So yeah, whatever you want to call it, whatever makes most sense.
May the void save me.
Saved by the void.
Saved by the void. That's good. I like that.
Okay. Yeah. So I think everywhere else on the ship has had this kind of experience, right? It's not just your section, but you fought them off, and there's a lot of casualties, and systems are still glitchy. They're kind of coming back online, but what kind of high command, maybe they'll let the majors know, right? Is that there was a hacking attack from the facility as soon as you jumped out of hyperspace, and some whatever codes that special studies group have on that were just sufficient to get a foot in the door, and then like this pretty brutal like system shutdown started to happen. So I guess they changed the passwords, or locked out the systems or whatever, caught with their pants down, but still fighting. Yeah.
So I mean, I feel like this is like, okay, everybody to the drop pods, we have to treat our weapons depot as hostile territory, and we're going to go in and take it back.
Yeah. That works for me. That works for command. Obviously, it's I think they want to hit back hard, and not give them a second run at the ship. So yeah, maybe this is recon company special. Hit that facility and take care of it. So everyone heals 1 level, so you maybe up to a mess or fine again, depending on how bad off you were there. Okay, so yeah, I mean, what's the mood on deck for after this attack? Yeah, obviously, command wants you to move quickly and to get these guys back, but what's the scuttlebutt lower down? Rich first, maybe.
Sure. Once Frost is pulled back in, they like close the outer doors, open up the airlock. He drops in, Grav's been restored, and he starts crawling around to see who from his squad made it.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of casualties, maybe 1 dead, but a couple with bad wounds. Getting their skin grafts and such in the med bay. Maybe not going to be on this drop, but the next one for sure. And I think Oreo is a bit shaken, but I think they probably hid in the latrine and gave a shadow that came in there a full magazine or something like that.
Nice, good move. Yeah, if they want us to go get payback.
I mean, they want us, like the whole brigade. I think the whole brigade can probably take these guys.
I think you're right.
But no, they'll probably just send recon company because we're the best and we can do anything, right?
I can. It's sad. We're hoisting our own petard of competence. All right. Glad you made it, Oreo.
Me too. I mean, glad you made it too.
Both are true.
I mean, I'm super glad I made it, obviously, but
I'd hope so.
I for a moment there, I thought you were gone. I kind of saw something go out the airlock.
It's true.
I was thinking
gone.
of your decent, your half decent vodka supply.
That's priorities.
So
let's see if
we'd
we
have
can
to drink it. We'd have to drink it to fully
my
honor
memory.
your memory. Yeah.
Absolutely. You better not do that.
Sounds
Let's go
good.
see if we can get to the back of the pack for whatever this is about to be.
Yeah, I think I'm going to stand directly behind Lieutenant Dietrich for this one. I don't want any guts or glory.
You probably get covered in guts.
Okay, I want to retain my guts and leave him all the glory. How does that sound?
He's into it, I'm sure.
Okay.
Good plan.
Okay. Yeah, so Dietrich, how's your platoon coming through?
I'm walking around and checking on everybody, and I'm probably getting more than a few sideways glances because my Mandelbrite armor looks like it desperately needs a shower. It looks like a Jackson Pollock piece. It's just covered in bits of tentacle and alien and goop, and it's gross. But I'm walking around, I'm checking on everybody. I'm really looking for Frost, though. So, where do I find you? You still talking with Oreo at the latrine?
Yeah, probably chatting with Oreo.
Okay.
I think that's where you find me.
Hey, Frost, you got a second?
Absolutely. Dietrich, what's up?
You okay?
Oh yeah, perfectly fine. No problem at all. I decided to hit the airlock.
Yeah. Some good thinking there. But
That's all I had left.
listen, part of my job is making sure that you get home alive and preferably in one piece. So I like your thinking, but next time, I like you, Frost. I don't want to see you going out an airlock like that. That's a bad way to go. So just want to make sure you're okay. Like,
I'm 5x5 LT.
all right, lock and load. And
Wow.
try to get that armor patched up a little bit if you can.
Yes, sir.
No more going out an airlock for you. Not when we're in hard vacuum. That's an order.
Yes, sir.
And I clap you on the shoulder. Just Dietrich doesn't have a whole lot of language for how are you feeling? Are you emotionally okay? Are you scared? How do you feel about death? It's mostly like, you good? All right. Clap you on the shoulder. And, that's basically Dietrich's emotional range right there.
Nice.
And then he walks off and he's like clapping other people on the back, checking on people to make sure they've got, at least that they've stopped the bleeding. Everybody who looks good to go is ready, and dragging in a few stragglers who just seem to be wandering around and not attached to anybody and saying, "You're with us. I don't care who I don't care who your commander is. You're with us right now. We're going down there to kick some ass."
So I think before we head off on a mission, because you're on your ship, which is unusual, you could probably see if you could get a repair on your armor, right? Let's make that an NFA check to get it done before you're due to be in a dropship.
What about combat drugs? Are the reasons we can only take combat drugs once because that's our supply, or are there
or that the
other
second dose in
complications?
24 hours is sure to kill you? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like that's column B on that one, almost certainly. I'm sure they could probably dose like they could probably give us as many doses we wanted, but more than once, and yeah, and your heart will just stop, I suspect, is probably what's going on with that. But that doesn't mean that we can't go see, you know, one of the medics to see whether they could give us a little something to counteract it, you know, something to come down.
Or maybe patch us up a little bit since we're still on the ship, you know, a skin graft, as you mentioned, Donna.
Yeah, though that is keeping them in med bay for a while. So I guess you do get to, and you've already done it probably,
Well,
get to
I mean,
heal up one level, right?
Yeah, like requisitioning, like a regular NFA role is what you do to requisition stuff anyways. So that completely makes sense that you could just get a new, just get a new suit to take with you before you.
Yeah. So for combat drugs, let's say if you want to do your NFA check on that, sure. But I think the downside is that it's much more dangerous than usual, right? So maybe let's call it an 8+ to inflict a kill instead of a 10+. If that sounds fair. And so I think the NFA check is because the medic or the quartermaster is saying, like, that's not safe. I really don't want to give it to you, right? And how well you can argue your case. There you go, Rich. That works. Okay.
1s and 10s. That's all I roll.
1s and 10s. That's all you're allowed to roll. Okay. Okay. So yeah. So let's get the basic assault plan from Miter. And I think BD, you're getting some briefing from Brocquy in terms of, you know, if you have a chance to save some things from the facility, here's what you should be saving.
I don't think we're dicking around with briefings and stuff like that. I mean, like, we're going in there to root it out, and if I have to blow it up, I'll blow it up.
Oh yeah, but I guess there is something like a plan, right?
Well, I mean, I think the scene with Brocquy is like, I look at him, he looks at me. We kind of nod because we know what this means. Like, we're like neck deep in all this research and the infiltration, and probably, like, you know, more than a little bit paranoid about what all of this happens. And, you know, I walk up to him and I say, I've got to go. And I just, like, take a hand and I lay it gently over his heart. And I say, hominis aeternum. And we both nod to each other. And then I turn and go to my mission. Okay. And I think, cool. It's like it's a tender moment. Like, maybe there's something going on between us. So.
Okay, sure. Yeah. So Miter, are you piloting this dropship into the facility, or what's the approach going to be?
Oh, I don't think we're taking the drop ship. This is pods. I feel like we want that ambush to start. You know, we're getting in there and blowing shit up.
Yeah.
And if we need a dust off, we'll call for it. But
okay.
But you know, assuming we can take it back, we'll have plenty of drop ships to use. So.
Sure. Yeah. No problem.
Could we maybe take a game break here before we?
Oh yeah,
jump into
sure.
The next
Yeah,
mission?
Makes sense to me. So I've got 13 past. Let's say 20 past. So 7 minutes.
Works for me.
Okay. I'll see you back here soon. Okay. So let's set the scene for this combat drop. This facility is like a space station, right? It is floating in an asteroid belt. So I think, you know, maybe it's built into one of these big asteroids, right? And you can kind of see some facilities poking their heads up out of the earth or out of the rock, and certainly enough ground to hit a drop pod into. I think, you know, there's probably, maybe they're linked, right? So maybe some of these asteroids have been linked with these kind of umbilical structures or whatever. just because it's sprawled out of control, right? So someone said, "This is the big one. We'll pick this one," and it's just grown and grown and grown as the weapons project has gotten more and more budget. So yeah, you're kind of aiming your drop pods at one of these facilities.
So can I? So
Yep.
Where I grew up, there was actually like a factory, like a dynamite factory, the next town over from where I grew up. And like when you have a place that stores a lot of munitions and stuff like this wasn't like for military stuff. This was like explosives for use in like construction and stuff like that, right? It's not a big factory. It's a bunch of little buildings all spaced fairly far apart, because if one of them goes up, they don't want the whole thing to go up.
Yeah.
And so like, I kind of love the idea, yeah, that it's a bunch of like, you know, these things so that like, if one of them cooks off, you can disconnect it and send it off, you know, out into the asteroid field. So we gotta, yeah.
A strange convergence, right? The town I grew up, there's a gunpowder mills from like the Napoleonic era. And it is like really awesome because there's all of these little mini factories. And then in between them, there's these gigantic blast walls, just freestanding walls, just jutting up, you know, like 100 feet. And, you know, and just to stop, you know, something is going to go wrong here. And when it does, it's going to take out one facility, you know, so it's yeah, it's like a firewall or whatever. Yeah, awesome explosive hometowns. So yeah, I think, so you're sitting into these, we've described them before, right? These great big drop pods. And I think they just get shot like torpedoes out of the Atlas, and you know, threading the needle on these kind of entry, maybe like giant rosette windows, like of a dome, something like that, and you just punch right through them. So yeah, this is a ambush. Usually we would set the range. I guess you're going to set the range for near, right? No prizes. Okay. So let me drag it out to near. And then everyone gets to roll their kills. I'm going to remove 4 tokens. So there's no rolling to hit, no competitive rolling on an ambush. You just catch them by surprise, roll your kills, narrate your action, make it awesome. So yeah, everyone want to roll kills and jump in.
2 tokens. Come on, man.
What?
Only 2 tokens?
Well, you removed 4.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, you already took them off.
Yeah, I took them off in one fell swoop.
Sorry, I was like, 2, come on.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Excellent.
There are times that I have put in less tokens than PCs for that initial drop, just to keep it a little competitive, but not this time. Okay, so we have 31 kills from Dietrich. Sounds like Betsy is warming up a bit. And 41 from Miter. Okay. And 5 from Frost, sorry. Okay, so why don't we get a quick description of the killing spree that you all go on, like maybe how you enter the facility. Let's start with Frost.
Yeah, Frost and Oreo literally hang back behind LT, and when he drives the enemies before him, some of them squib around the corners, and we just pop shots at the ones that are trying to flee the the terribleness that is Lieutenant Dietrich's fury.
Cool. And Jim, how do BD?
I think BD comes down off of the like out of the drop pod, and I am immediately you know, I know that Dietrich is going to clear the field, so I'm like, you know, up for like the tentacles that like come out of the vents in the ceiling and stuff, right? You know, and you know, out of the floor. So I'm kind of, you know, hitting that stuff on the side that is seeking to get around, you know, like kind of sneak around BD's kill zone. And that's what I'm just kind of, you know, and per usual, my, you know, aim, sight, squeeze, you know, like not a lot of kills, but each one is like a one shot, one kill kind of a thing as I methodically work my way across the, you know, the various events where they might come in at us from the sides.
Cool. Anything to add on the usual carnage from our E-Cannon duo, Bider?
I know it's just how do you describe the same thing, this scenario differently every time? Yeah, I mean, just aiming for the large clumps to take them out in as many as a time as you can.
Yeah. Okay, so and Dietrich.
I just storm into the facility and scream, "These are my goddamn guns and explosives, you fucking aliens! Get out!"
That teaches them, you know. Okay, so spending a token from the token pool to bring back 4 tokens. I think what happens is, you know, you've cleared it, and I think there's like a lightning storm going on in between these asteroids, maybe arcing out towards the Atlas ship that you've left, and like the instant like you get shadows like behind you, behind all the facility, like these shadows just come back out of it and go in to attack you. Regeneration is horrible. So shooting, everyone shooting. Okay.
Did the aliens just succeed with a 10?
They did,
didn't they?
They did. Their score this week is highest NFA, so everyone is blaming you, Jim.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That feels fair. We all succeeded, so
Yeah. So everyone succeeds, but the alien succeeds more. So yeah. Okay. So again, I mean, it can't be that surprising because you've seen it before, but I think it's the speed at which they regenerate with that lightning strike that kind of catches you by surprise. And they're not necessarily reforming from where they were. Maybe that's what's surprising. They're just reforming from where the shadows were created in that instant of lightning. And again, you know, they surge towards you and they find those cracks in that armor. You know, that knee's got a bend, and they're finding the joints and slipping in to that weak underbelly. And yeah, hitting everyone with a kill. And then we start with Miter. And they are drawing you all into close range because they like the sweet embrace of the grave. Thank you very much. So Miter, you're up first.
I will stick with the E-Cannon.
Dietrich is next with a 4.
Alrighty, I will take the kill on my arm. Now I'll just take the kill. And I believe my damage is 1d6 for maxed E-cannon
Yeah.
at near.
At near, it'll be 1d6. Sorry, at close, it'll be 1d6.
Oh, wrong window. My bad. That's a whopping 2.
Yeah, Betsy doesn't like it when the aliens get this close, right?
I think I'd probably just like use the stock as a club and just squish a few of them like that.
Cool. Okay. And Jim with a BD with a 2.
Yeah, I've still got my sidearm, trusty pistol that I've been using from day one. Nice thing about the pistol is it's the same for me at close as it is at near. So we got this. Let's see how we do here. There's 5 kills there. And I feel like at this point, they're just right on top of us. So BD is our armor is sufficient to stop a slug from one of our pistols. And so I'm just like shooting the aliens off of my guys,
Yeah,
right?
you're hosing them down, right?
Yes, yeah. As I see them go for the joints and stuff like that, whatever. If a ricochet bounces off some of their armor, it'll scorch it, maybe dent it, but it won't. I'm not going to kill any of my own guys with just a sidearm. So
cool. Yeah. Rich, how about you? Your slug rifle. 4. Okay. So is that using the stock as a club, or are you like actually shooting these shadows this time?
Oh, I'm shooting the shadows for sure. Yeah, like just quick bursts, moving around, firing, and yeah, the energy rifle is able to do some damage to them. So I take out 4.
Yeah. Okay. So that's a clean sweep from you, and I think I'm gonna repeat that operation. They're getting back up, and I think these are the same guys. They're not like flitting between the shadows this time, but these are the same, dissipation fog, like on the bottom kind of 4 or 3 inches of the floor, and it's just again coming back up and reforming. So all remove tokens for the last come around. Return to the fray. So yeah, Rich, what are you gonna do with this?
I mean, so let me ask a mechanical question. Yeah. Well, it's 2 questions. First one, if I try to back up to near range from close, I don't attack, right?
Yeah, so you have 2 options for changing range. One is that if you succeed in your fighting ability roll and you beat the aliens, you get a free range move at the end of your turn.
Okay.
The other option is to just say that's going to be your action, is to change range. Now, I'll warn you that even though obviously they're doing damage by touching fictionally, but they get to damage you no matter what range you're at, unless you go further than far, right?
Okay.
So you don't get safe by getting away from them when you're still on the map.
Another mechanical. Go ahead, Rich.
Oh, sorry, it's a 2-parter. So the other question is, and this might be not appropriate for me to know, but do they have a resource for the thing that they pull people from near to close that also is their regeneration? So
the regeneration is the special ability you've seen, right? They do the same thing mechanically as you do. If they beat you in the combat roll, they get to draw you in or push you out. Okay, and so I think in these two cases they've rolled higher than you, and they've been pulling everyone in.
Okay, cool. Then I shoot him.
Okay, Puckett, you had a question?
Yeah, with strengths and weaknesses,
Yeah.
can we use a strength if we have not used the preceding weakness?
Yeah, they're not linked. You can just use them down the line. If you don't want to use a weakness, you can just use a strength so long as it's available. Yeah.
Okay. If everybody's okay with it, I'm inclined to just use a strength here.
Yeah, fire it off.
Go for
Rich, are you okay? Brian?
You can wait and just see how the dice roll first, and then interrupt everything by using it.
Yeah, so you can declare
yeah.
your strength at any time, really.
Yeah, like if Donna rolls a 2 and we all beat him, then we can roll on through. But
Okay, fair enough. Let's go ahead and roll.
he can't roll a 9 or 10 every single time. Ha.
I'm also looking at like once per planet. I can call whoever is the highest rank can call for an evac, and that would get us out of this particular combat without
Just be
without you having to.
Yeah, if you have that in front of you, just check there. I think there's some small text on it causing you damage, right?
Everyone might take a kill. Yeah. All PCs.
Yeah, so it's the kind of the jolt. I mean, it may be worth it, right? But
then we would basically all heal back a kill in between.
Yeah. So long as no one's on death's door, right? But I think I'm not sure what kind of a state Frost is in right now. I think he is.
I'm a mess.
Oh, you're a mess. Okay.
And with an evac, we couldn't take that armor on. We couldn't take that kill on the armor, correct?
You can.
You can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Back you can. There's there's other stuff that you can't. But with evac, I think orbital bombardment, you can't take it on.
Yeah.
Armor,
It can't be prevented by any armor. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I guess what you could do, right, is you could say, what you're doing. That could be like I'm shooting, or I'm going to call in evac, and then if the rules don't work out, someone can use a strength to get you all out of trouble, right? So again,
cool.
You don't need to. You can see what the rules are before you declare that.
Good enough. Let's roll.
So what are people doing? I guess Dietrich is shooting, right? But anyone else?
Also still shooting. No.
Okay. Brian,
I'll call it evac.
Okay.
I've never gotten to do it before. So.
Okay. So let me roll aliens. It's like a normal roll, a 5, right? Okay. So I think I still think this takes place in the usual order, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it takes place, I don't know, it's the same role as the aliens. So the aliens, do they get a kill like as you're leaving?
Yeah, if we let this play out as is, the aliens are going to get a kill on me, Meaty, and Frost, and then we would take another kill from the evac. So what we could do is Dietrich could cancel his success, and we could all roll again.
Yeah. So
got better that time.
So Dietrich rolled a 9, and so is the only one safe from the aliens. The aliens will kill everyone else. You rolled a miss, right, Jim?
Yeah, I rolled a miss. I mean, so the other thing to keep in mind here, Puckett, is that because of the way timing works, you could roll your kills for this shot, then immediately use your strength. which then lets you roll like your
Best
time and end the encounter.
best range with your current weapon, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
So you can double dip into the kills, right?
I love how Jim is just like playing to Dietrich's love of numbers. It's like he can't do math, but he can sure as hell count corpses.
Yeah, you can max out the kill counter on Betsy, right? Yeah. So
Is everyone okay with doing that?
I mean, it's completely up to you as a player, right?
Well, I mean, I want other people to be able to do cool stuff too.
Yeah. Now they could just gazump you. You know, one of them could say, "I'm using my strength now," or whatever. But you know, so I guess you get to go first in the normal rank of things. Puckett. So on a 9, Dietrich goes.
And that's
Does your
1d6
D6
damage.
kills.
That is 3, and so we don't have to start dipping into armor and things like that. I'll just go ahead and pull the strength.
Okay, so like the shadows are getting close to everyone. The evac has come in from Miter. You know, the dropship scoops are coming in, and then like, you know, Dietrich pulls out the stops, right? So why don't you give us the flashback?
I'm a little kid. And all I want is a light on because I see the shadows creeping in. And my daddy comes in and says, "No man needs a nightlight," and turns the light out. And I'm plunged into pitch blackness. I don't really remember much of what happens next in the field. But when I actually kind of regain my senses, once again, I'm covered in like little bits of alien and goop dripping off of my armor. Betsy is also a mess. Betsy's going to need a very thorough cleaning because it doesn't quite look like I've actually been shooting anything. I mean, the ammo count is still the same, and yet everything is just gone. And there's some people just kind of staring at me like, what the hell did you just do? And I say, I don't like the dark, and stomp off.
Cancel that evac.
So why don't you roll D100 kills for Betsy?
That's another 37.
Okay, and I will remove the offending tokens.
They were most offensive.
When you got to kill the same token 3 times, it's just no fun, huh?
And I will put that on my sheet as I don't like the dark.
Okay, so
What is it? Hold Back the Dark? Is that the name of the Spider-Man musical? I think it was Hold Back the Dark, right?
Turn off the dark.
Turn off the dark. There we go. Turn off the dark. There you go.
in that childhood flashback, was there like a cartoon character called Betsy on the Nightlight or something like that?
Indeed it was. She had like black hair, but it was like kind of a bob with like little curls at the end of it. And she always had this thing that she did. Some little like verbal tick, like boop boopy doop. A sister of some other cartoon character or another. But yeah, Betsy was my imaginary friend as a kid. And she kept the monsters away when it got dark and that sort of thing. Well, most of them anyway. The other monsters I actually took care of myself.
Awesome. So yeah, so you got your your bridgehead and facility. What's the plan to blow this place to Kingdom Come?
I mean, I think it's to get to the, like, whatever the defensive systems are, and essentially turn it all back around. You know, all the like various turrets and everything that we use to, if it gets attacked, you know, we need to reprogram them to, you know, instead of pointing up at the sky, point at the other nodes of it, and just have it do all of that.
Okay, so I guess you gotta get to some kind of command weapon center, right? Okay, so sounds like fighting through corridors or something like that. So I know there's like no sign of any of the staff here, like I guess any kind of facilities or dorms you come across look normal. Obviously not being uninhabited for long, but like no sign of anyone, no remains, nothing.
Any sign of firefights or anything like that, or resistance, or?
I don't think so. Certainly, you know, people are usually not carrying weapons right around a facility like this. But even so, you might expect one or two weapons to be break in case of emergency, but there's no signs of anything.
Do I have my, but what does my blue crystal detector say?
Oh, okay. Make an NFA check. I know it's going to succeed, but I want to see by how much.
Yeah, by how much, sure. Yeah, that completely makes sense to me.
Yeah, that's pretty respectable. So I think there's like some of the experimental weapons are, you know, in a maybe a out of the way asteroid, right? The kind of standard weapon stuff is elsewhere, and there you're getting like a big reading from of the blue crystal monitor, right? And in there, you see they've been creating like rounds, like e-cannon rounds, maybe, which have this blue glow coming out of them. And I think usually there's like some kind of electricity glow, but this is like blue turned to 11. So it's, you know, and so they're using these blue crystals as weapons. They're planning on.
Yeah, and maybe as like the focus crystals for the lasers or something like that.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a bit out there, right? But no stranger than some of the stuff that's around here, right? And I think like there are growing cultures of these in some of the back rooms, right? So there's, you know, some, I guess, stasis tubes, right, of these, and they're growing up the sides of it, and it looks a bit foreboding, but you know, there's no sense that these are sentient like you may have gotten before. They seem to have taken that out of them. So like you're not getting a strange feeling when you look at them like you would have on planet way back when. But this seems like a perfect chance for an encounter, right? You know, you're finding curious stuff, and it's all very interesting. So yeah, let's see who wants to roll. I guess Jim will roll for sure. Dietrich and Miter, you've been rolling so far. How about Frost? You gonna hold back or kick in?
Going back.
Okay. Okay. So, sorry, I should really roll for these aliens. 7. So that gives Miter the highest success with a 9. So you get to set the range for everyone.
Let's go with near. And I'm gonna activate my kinetic field armor transmitter.
Okay, cool. So the kinetic field armor is a special major option. It's like a little lapel pin that gives you a force field and protects you from kills for the encounter, but has
I will do the same.
Okay. But has 1 use per planet, basically. So in this encounter, you're fine. But, and sorry, before we move on to fighting, everyone should have healed up 1 level since the last one. Okay. So yeah, here you are at near range. It's all good. Everyone's shooting. The aliens are certainly trying to kill you. So let's see. Oh. So they can't keep rolling 9s or 10s, is what you, and a couple of 10s from my guys. Okay, so this does not look good for our heroes. We've got 2 10s. So Dietrich hits with a 6. The aliens hit with a 9. Anyone want to use some combat drugs if they still have them in the tent? Or, okay. So the aliens inflict a kill on everyone, and again, I think they are. You know, you're in this facility. It's kind of interesting, but maybe some people aren't very interested, and they're kind of looking at stuff, wondering what the hell is going on here. And then, you know, the lights, that kind of strip lighting, flickers, right? And there's a moment of darkness, and then a moment of brightness again, and the shadows surge out, and you know, people start opening up. So everyone take a kill, and everyone welcome to close range. And we have Dietrich with a 6.
That's a whopping 2 kills. I really do not like this close range business.
Yeah, it's not playing the game by your rules anyway. Okay, and then we get everyone else. Miter, how does it look from your point of view?
Yeah, I think this is the first time. I think maybe I've activated this armor before, but then like someone used a strength or something. Like it's never actually gone through combat with it turned on. So I think that must have really thrown him off. Like I don't know if there's this glowing field surrounding you or whatever, and it. Yeah, so I think he keeps. Yeah, like he's trying to, you know, they're pulled into the close range. So he's trying to fire at these close ones that are attacking him, but they're not. They're kind of bouncing off the field, so they're actually he's thinking that, you know, they're right on top of him, but actually he's firing right where they were before they repelled by this field. So,
and obviously when I say everyone takes kills, you know, I don't mean the majors in this encounter. I'll just consistently forget that you've used your force field of power. Rich, how about Frost? What does this look like for him?
Getting my ass kicked?
Yeah, but you know, I mean, you're just not being effective, and they picked the right spot, right? You're Frost isn't incompetent. I guess your die rolling is the problem, right?
Yeah, it's
So-
true. It's true. Yeah, maybe it's a thing where he's fires off a bunch of shots, but they go wide, whips around, and almost shoots a fellow trooper because everything's so close, and pulls up off of that, and then one of them hops onto him, and he's screaming and peeling off his armor because that's what he's going to sacrifice to keep from getting jacked.
And Jim, BD.
I think they have learned. Clearly, they're communicating with each other because they drag BD in, and I do the thing where I start to point at my guys, and they like slip around behind them, and basically they figured out that my sidearm won't get through that armor, and so they're actually they're not waiting there for me to pick them off, and so it's like I come up and then they slip around, damn it, and I have no good shots, right? So yeah.
Okay, sorry, and I should remove a token for Dietrich. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so next round, the aliens are going to try to kill you all, as usual. Anyone doing anything other than shooting back?
Swap into power claw.
Okay.
Like I said, sidearm goes into the holster and powers up. And this is more like Dietrich, just kind of, we're close. So I'm just waiting in and I'm pulling them off of my guys specifically. I'm not worried if they swarm all over me. I'm worried about the troopers that don't have these fields. Yeah. And in fact, I think I say, Terry, keep them off of the grunts, and just waiting in.
Okay, cool. So
yeah, I'm going to switch to power claw as well.
Is that another 10, Rich?
That is another 10.
Okay, and another 10 from you, Brian. That's a string of bad luck. Okay,
do you have combat drugs? Because the aliens rolled a 3. This might be your best chance to.
I mean, do I have combat drugs? Have enough time passed to where it felt like everything was like rolling right after each other. But if I have combat drugs, I'll definitely use them.
Yeah, everybody, whatever your rank, you get 1 use of combat drugs.
Yeah.
1 use of combat drugs per fight?
Per planet.
Are we on the same planet?
Yeah. So one session.
So I've already used. So then I used combat drugs before. So
okay. So you use it in the first encounter?
Yep.
Okay.
I said it would be a good idea, and then I still failed.
Oh yeah.
That's
Didn't
right.
you say he can?
That's right. He double 10'd. That's
Yeah,
right. He
double.
rolled a 10 on the first one, and then combat drugs,
Yep.
and got a 10 on the second. That's right.
Yep.
And Donna, didn't you say that as long as you got that a kill would count as 8 or more if you use combat drugs after resupplying on the ship?
Yeah. So I think Rich used his resupply for the armor, right? So you
I
got
did.
one check. So
Yep.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
But thank you for checking.
Okay, so we have first Dietrich with a 7. So
At this point, I've had it with these things. I'm switching to my power claw, and I am just, comic book fans would probably recognize it like Logan and Sabretooth going at each other. And that's pretty much what it looks like. It's just a lot of stabbing, a lot of slashing, a lot of grunting, and probably incoherent screaming as Dietrich just lays into these things.
okay, so roll your kills, and
That is 7.
7. Okay. I think Betsy gives a disgruntled whine, as you power down for this moment. Aliens go. inflicting a kill on, okay, not BD and not Miter for the armor, but on Frost. And Jim, you're next with a 1.
Yeah, and I think BD is concentrating. Like BD trusts the troops to shred the ones that are there and on it. And Dietrich is like going full berserker. And I'm just kind of giving him a bit of a berth, making sure I'm like more than an arm's length and a half away from him at all times. Kind of got him in my peripheral vision. And BD is concentrating on, like, as the wisps start to reform, going after those, right? To see if he can't keep it from, stuff from piling back on top of us. So we got here 10.
Okay.
10 kills.
Okay. And yeah, Dietrich, if you wanted to back off, you could, but you just switched to schnickety schnicks, so it's probably better off staying in close. Next round, Alien's going to try to kill you all, or at least
Keep shredding. See if we can make headway, man.
Yeah. Okay. So let me roll. Got a 10. Okay, so that'll be kills on everyone, unless someone wants to step in.
I think I have to,
Yeah.
because I'm crippled, so I've got a second weakness unlocked.
Yep. So yeah, using a weakness will get you out of the scene or out of the encounter and safe.
Yep.
And you remove a token.
You also have a strength unlocked if you want to just end the encounter.
I'm really not interested in this strengthening this string of 10s. It just doesn't feel narratively like it makes any fucking sense. So I appreciate that I do have that, but like it just doesn't make sense in my head. So weakness is a flashback, and we're in some kind of museum. Is that right? Or
More like a laboratory or a weapons proving area. So yeah.
Yeah, I think being crippled, Frost has a flashback to when he was going through basic, and they were on the firing range, and there was a point where one of the idiot new recruits had like swung his gun this way, and the sergeant came up, grabbed the gun, smacked him in the head, and said, "You stay out of live fire," and screamed at him. And that's when see the weapons testing area, and Frost crawls to the weapons testing area and screams out a command for the firing range to start, and it hits his armor a few times, but similar to how BD was able to save his own, not harm his fellow troopers, it's enough to basically kill maybe the one token. Maybe it takes out the one or warns it away, and he just hangs out there in the firing range.
Okay, cool. And who got the highest success of the others? Looks like Terry. Am I reading that right? Yeah.
Yep.
So you get to roll your kills. and that's the last token in the
Yes.
encounter.
Oh no, my kill macro doesn't have any power claw sounds. Pow. There we go. That's as close as we get.
So what does Miter look like when he's going on with the claws?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're all yeah, like these shadows have learned to like hide behind troopers' armors while they're getting in the joints and the cracks. So it's just running up to a trooper, kind of grabbing him, and then reaching around back and like ripping the shadow like off of them, and then pushing them to the side and running to the next one. And yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's a tough one, but yeah, I think you've cleared this section, right? And oh yeah, sorry. The plan here was to like set all the external weapons, right? So that's maybe the next section over. You have control of that, and you know, all those turrets kind of start turning in, you know, missiles and point defense and everything that's meant to protect us from a fleet. So it should, you know, make a. I mean, it mightn't have the best chance of destroying the asteroids in and of itself, but it's gonna get through to the munitions, and that's gonna crack these things apart like there's no tomorrow. So, what do you think? Is that on like a countdown? Like you plug in the order and have
I think it's really important that they all fire at the same time. Otherwise, you like blow up half of the station, and the rest kind of just gets knocked off. So it's all gonna. That's the most important part. That
yeah,
maybe the explosions start on the outer rim and then in instead of like.
Yeah.
Like I'm kind of cool. Like if you are cool, Donna, with like hand waving we program everything and they all turn in, and like this is our fighting retreat to get out of here before it all
that's
goes
what I was
up,
going to
then,
suggest is that this last encounter is you getting out.
Perfect,
And whether you want it to be a timer or like a remote control, like a dead man switch or whatever it is, or maybe not a dead man switch, maybe just a switch. That when you're safe and on a dropship and away, or an evac, you know, that would work for you. So yeah, it's kind of, I mean, maybe it's a race against time. Maybe it's just a fighting battle to get to where you can be evac, right? Okay, so everyone heal damage. Do people want a break before our last encounter, or what do you? I'm quite happy to take 5 and then come back, or will we? Yeah.
Yeah, let's just, if we can do like whatever, 7 minutes till 20 after.
Yeah, we'll take till 20 past again. Okay, cool. So yeah, the madcap dash back up to the back to an area, you know, one of these rosette dome windows that will get you out of dodge. So yeah, I think it's worth probably testing for dominance anyway, just to get us started.
Hey, we just get an ambush and then.
Well, an ambush is impossible. An ambush is impossible. So they have 10.
Oh, because they can't fail their
roll. They can't fail.
That's true.
So you know, this is welcome to my world when BD has had a 10 for how many sessions is like say goodbye to ambushes.
Yeah, if me and BD both try to call for an evac, then the odds of us getting it before the aliens can get a kill are that much better.
So it's a 9. Okay, wow, 3 9s. So I'll give you the. I mean, we should agree amongst ourselves, but I think 2 outscores 1, right? So you can choose whatever range you want. You think near, probably? Is that what you're thinking?
I guess.
Okay. So just so I'm not sure. I would think only one of you can call in an evac, but I'm happy to be
Why?
argued out of it.
Well, it's
No, like if we're both radioing in,
yes. Normally,
it's
just whoever's
like,
the highest ranked can do it.
yeah.
But we're tied, so I think.
So there's no reason why we can't both call it, you know. And you know, if we're hollering at different pilots we know to come get us now, I'm not kidding. Then
Yeah.
you
the only reason I would say that is because it says an extreme measure only able to be called in by a PC who is of the highest rank in general. That's not very instructive to me. The next line is, so this strictly means that the highest ranking, joint highest even, PC is the only one able to call on the support item. So I don't know. I mean, I can be pushed off my position. I'm not really holding it for any good reason.
I mean, whichever of us wins the roll is going to be the one that calls it in.
Yeah. And I guess you're putting, I mean, it's going to happen, right? But if you didn't have a 10, you're like saying we're giving up our actions in order to give us the highest possible chance, right? So I think that's fair.
I mean, we're trying to beat the aliens here, because if we don't, then it's a big problem.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Dietrich, what are you going to do while your majors out radio each other?
I'm going to shoot the sons of bitches. I mean, what the hell else do you expect me to do? They're calling for evac.
I just have to check.
I am a blunt instrument.
And Rich, how about Frost? Shooting down range.
Yeah, shooting down range, indeed.
And Frost, you're crippled and have no armor, right? Like, so you cannot take a hit. Is that what's going on?
He's a mess.
Am a mess.
Yeah.
Because
you're a mess. Okay,
time.
cool. All right.
I'm a mess.
Cool.
I'm a mess.
Oh, that's right. Because you would have to have something left, or we couldn't do the evac. That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So the aliens roll a 5. Okay. So that is down to the wire, huh? BD rolls a 3. Terry rolls a 5, which is the same as the aliens. So they're going to get hit in at the same time to everyone. No, not to everyone, not to Dietrich. Dietrich is going to shoot some, and then the evac is going to happen at the same time as the alien. So yeah, that is not good.
Dietrich, do your kills.
Where did Frost come in?
Oh, sorry. I don't see a roll, Rich.
I did have a roll. The NFA, for some reason, it didn't show my. It said you don't have a score to evaluate, but where was it? Frost test NFA non-attribute found for thing, and I rolled a 1 on the D10.
Oh, okay. I didn't see it there. Okay. So the aliens are going before you as well. Okay. Yep. So Dietrich kills 73.
Wow.
Betsy's warmed up and happy.
And then I'm going to use a strength.
Okay. So you're going to, I guess, not necessarily, I guess you're going to save Frost for sure. Yeah. Okay. Dietrich escaped by a single pip on that D10. That fate as well. Okay, cool. So let's see BD's flashback.
All right. So this is we go back to I am like 11 or 12. I am in school. I'm at like a private boys' school, right? And I am my boys' school uniform is perfect. My tie is tied, in a tight double Windsor and stuff like this. And, I have like, the buzz cut, like I have like a military haircut before, like at 12 years old, like regulation buzz cut haircut. And, I am walking down the hall with my book bag, and I get ambushed by some bullies, and they because I didn't see them coming, one of them pops out of a locker to grab me, right? And they shove me in the locker, and they shut it closed and everything. And I resist, but I'm not yelling or anything. And they just jam me in there. They shut it. They actually lock it. And so I just, so we see me just kind of knocking methodically on it to keep the noise so that somebody knows what's going on. And then we come to the next day, and I am walking down the hall with my bag. And as I walk up to that locker, and as I'm walking up to that locker, I run forward a couple of 3 steps, slam my shoulder hard into it, and spin the dial. And the guy the guy inside tries to jump out, but he can't get out, and he's hammering away at it. And his buddies come out, and they look at me, and there's that tense moment. And then they start laughing because the guy on the inside is screaming, "Let me out, let me out, let me out." And one of the bullies walks up and laughing, just kind of makes a get out of here motion to me. And that's the last time they bothered me. And so
what do you call that, Jim?
I'm going to call that "fool me once ... is going to be that strength. And we are there, and they come out, and we're headed towards the where we're going to get dusted off. And BT, who was in the who was part of the did the reprogramming on all the all the weapons that were turning in and stuff like that and everything. Not only have all the weapons turned this way, but all of the spotlights that would normally light the landing pads and guide in ships and all this kind of stuff and everything have all been redirected at this area. And as the aliens swarm out, I tap a couple of things on my Mandelbrite armor, and all the blast shielding drops, and all of the tinting on the windows goes whoom, so that they're fully clear, and the whole room is just bathed with millions of candle power of light. And there are no shadows for them to exist in, or at least to manifest in. Doesn't get them out of the other shadows in the rest of the place, but just clears the way for us to just march right onto that ship. All of our whatever, Nova shields are down over the front of our, armor. And even through that, we can see it's, it's that kind of thing where if you were to hold up your hand, you could see the bones through it. It's that bright kind of thing. But we go marching up onto the ships, and we launch, and, we're looking out the windows as, bathed in a gazillion, like I said, candle power of light. The whole thing is lit up like it has this just, dozens of spotlights pointed at it as it starts to go up.
Cool. Why don't you roll for kills? I guess you could roll 2d10, sorry, for your power claw, right? Your best weapon.
Yeah, my power claw is 2d6.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna.
Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't have had my flame cannon, so I'm just gonna roll 2d6 for it. That's the thing that makes the most sense. 2d6. Boom. I'm gonna use Zap for this. Boom. There's a mere 2 kills. Because I think
I guess
mostly
none of
just
them were
kept-
there with the
Yeah,
light.
mostly I
right?
just like the light was to keep them from appearing. So maybe like the couple that managed to hide like in the shadows below the dropship that came to pick us up get incinerated as the dropship takes off for to get us back to the brigade.
Cool. Okay, so yeah, and I think like the explosion in these asteroid bases seems really restrained at first, right? You can kind of just see gases coming out of these domes, and then like they just split in half or in multiple segments, and then like the shockwave. I mean, there's a lot. It's not really a shockwave, but it's like all of the debris that's pelting the dropship as you burn back towards the Atlas. Okay, so everyone got off that one alive. Touch and go there for a while. So yeah, post mission paperwork. So because Maher and Dietrich are maxed out, BD and Frost get the ups on your scores. I mean, one of you, I guess, yeah, it's probably BD gets the automatic one, and then Frost gets the random extra. So yeah, you both can pump a NFA or FA by 1, and you unlock another strength or weakness. So if you have equal strengths and weaknesses like filled in, available, whatever, you get a strength. And if you have more strengths and weaknesses, you get a weakness. Okay, and then you get development roll. So everyone gets to improve one weapon by 1 step at 1 range. So that like pushes a D6 to a D10 or a D10 to 2D6 or whatever it is, for free.
Happy. And we can add a weapon, correct?
So that's on the next check.
That's the
You
development.
have 2 options on the next check. Well, let's do the first one first, which is a weapons improvement.
Second roll. Okay.
Okay.
Next step after 2D10 is 1D100, correct?
3D10. Yeah, thanks, Brian. There's chat. Yeah. So let me know when you're done with that, and we can move on to the extra development check. Okay. So for the second one, you've got a couple of different options, but you have to roll your non-fighting ability to get it. So you're rolling a check on NFA, and you have 3 options after that. The first option is to do the same thing that you just did for a weapon. The second option you have is to get a new weapon. And the third option you have, if you use a strength, is to go for promotion. So I see Jim nodding greedily for that lieutenant colonelcy. So we had 2 strengths used today, BD and Dietrich. If you use a weakness, there is a possibility that you get demoted, but trooper is as low as it goes for it, so you're safe from the dreaded demotion. Okay, so yeah, if everyone else makes an NFA check. And then you can make your choice after that. And I know, Jim, you don't need to roll. So everyone makes it. Cool. Okay. So, Jim, I guess you're going for Lieutenant Colonelcy, are you?
Yeah, give me that salad, man. I am now Lieutenant Colonel
Okay.
BD for having successfully a promotion for having successfully taken back whatever, kept the ammo depot or weapons depot from falling into enemy hands here.
Cool. Puckett, how about you? What are you going to use
3d10. Okay.
Your check for?
How can I pass up the opportunity of Dietrich being promoted again?
I don't know how. I mean, I predicted it last week in jest, probably more than anything else. But yeah, go for it, Captain Dietrich. Okay.
Captain.
Captain, yeah.
I mean, this is a small town boy with no education.
You know, obviously you weren't incompetent enough at being a lieutenant. You got to go for it again on captain, right? Brian, how about Miter? What are you going to use this development check on?
I guess just to upgrade something. You know, when you actually go up through all the ranks, they give you so many weapons anyway. I have most everything. What am I gonna
Okay. Rich, you've got a couple options. You can't improve the same weapon that you just did, so you can't improve your energy rifle or your assault rifle again, but you can improve grenades or improve your hand-to-hand. So you can do like 1d6 hand-to-hand, or you could get a new weapon if you feel like getting something extra off the shelf.
And where do I see the weapons? Just by looking at the other ranks?
Yeah, you can get a sense of them from the other rank handouts, but if you but I can send you a list offline in between weeks if you want. There's a lot of them, so I didn't add them in. So like you could say, oh, I want a power claw because those are awesome. Nice. Yeah, I can send you a list.
No, I've got the PDF. I'm looking through it right now.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So, yeah, Lieutenant Colonel, what does is that an eagle or just an extra skull? I can't remember.
It's a skull with a diamond.
Okay.
It's a skull with a diamond to the right.
Yay! Extra threat tokens next week. And you get a paradise bomb.
I do get a paradise bomb.
Which is like the TPK grenade, if I remember correctly, but more so. Right?
Yes, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Works at all ranges, right? Yeah, cool. Okay. Awesome. So, yeah, what's the...
Picked up a sidearm.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
It feels
good enough
troopery.
for the Lieutenant Colonel, good enough for you, right?
Oh God, could I get a no,
A rocket pod, a flamethrower.
I mean, a power blade is what I was looking at. That's fucking metal.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can
go straight to power blade.
You can go Total Warhammer if you want.
Yeah. Drive me closer to those people so I can hit them with my sword. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you keep pulling us close anyway because it's a smart call with some of the weapons these guys got. So.
Yeah, although sometimes the aliens, I go a different way. I push you too far, and then I, push you out off map, right? If I get the right result. So, but again, you only draw your sword if I pull you in close, so it's a win-win, right? So.
Yeah, I'm going dorky. Why not? Power Blade it is.
Cool. So yeah, what's the brigade like? I mean, I guess this is a win for the brigade in that, like, at the start of this day, it looked like you were in real trouble, but you don't like whatever happened here. It's again an attack on one of your facilities, so you know high command are not entirely happy with how things go, but you know, all you people who put boots on the ground are quite happy to have gotten away with it. What's the yeah, I guess we got a couple of promotions. So is there some kind of party or some kind of promotion soiree for the lieutenant colonel and the new captain?
I suspect there is a party for the captain. There is a dinner for the lieutenant colonel.
Mm.
I mean, and lieutenant colonel is like now kind of in the upper echelons. You're now command staff. You're probably now in a circle proper with the brigadier, whereas captain is still pretty much facing down, right? You're still taking care of your troops and that kind of stuff. So yeah, different circles.
Still eating in the mess.
Still eating in the mess.
Good. Where else would I feel at home, though?
Still seeing the names
let's be blunt,
of. Sorry, Puckett, go ahead.
I was just going to say it's through sheer luck that I'm not a trooper. And I imagine everybody in the barracks and the mess is just kind of shaking their heads at how in the hell, one, I survived these things, and two, I keep getting promoted. And I don't blame them. I have the same question myself.
I was just going to say, still doing paperwork, but you get to see the names of troopers on your paperwork, whereas the lieutenant colonel no longer does. They're just numbers. So what's this party like in your new? I guess you're. I don't know what you're doing as captain. Probably still commanding your platoon, but maybe or maybe second in command of the recon platoon with our recon company with Miter. So there's a bit of a party in our company, right?
There is, and I'm passing out. Well, not passing out bottles, but I'm passing my bottle around. I broke out the good stuff for this one, and well, surprised we survived it. I am going to spend my customary evening writing letters home to the families of the soldiers that didn't make it. Try to remember their names because, well, as you pointed out, I still see the names. I don't see numbers. So I'm just going to try to keep things as much the same as I can. Although the higher up I go, the more visibility I have and the more likelihood there is that somebody's going to start taking offense at somebody calling me Dietrich instead of captain. And not using sir, well, yeah, somebody will probably get mad if I don't do that at some point. But in the short term, I'm going to keep it as much the same as I can. I am, however, going to check on Frost because he seemed to have a rough go of it today.
So where does Dietrich find Frost, Rich?
I think Frost is doing inventory of the things that he and Oreo have procured, and they're arguing about prices. He's got like a bandage on his head and a bunch of like little bandages from all the burns and everything. Oreo looks fine. So he quickly closes the little cash box that has their illicit stuff when Dietrich comes in and he hops up and snaps off a salute and smirks and while doing it. Captain, oh Captain, my Captain.
God damn it, Frost. Are you going to do that every single time?
Glances over at Oreo. Not every single time, sir.
Just when we see you first, sir.
Looks good on you,
Here.
sir.
Frost. And I hand the bottle over. I want to see about half this bottle down your gullet in about the next 30 seconds.
Cool. And he will do his best, but it's probably not going to work. He's not a hardcore drinker like that. So,
I mean, it probably takes you like 45 seconds or so before you start coughing.
yeah, that's some pretty harsh stuff. That's a little more than Frost is ready for.
That's good enough. Oreo, can you give us the room, please?
So yeah, she gives Frost a friendly nudge and walks out.
Relax. Ain't nothing like that.
What's up?
Well, first of all, I don't care about your little footlocker there. If I had the smarts, I probably would have done something the same myself. But are you okay, Frost?
I think you bust me down, Cap, but I figure what you don't know doesn't end up hurting you. You know what I'm saying?
You know, you are correct on that. If I don't know about it, I don't have to do anything about it, and nobody can yell at me about it.
Yes, sir.
So, Frost, you had a hell of a rough day. You all right?
Yeah. Any lane you can walk away from is a good landing, right, sir?
That's one way to look at it, but and I want you to understand, Frost, I ain't criticizing you. I ain't trying to say nothing bad, but it seemed like you were out of the fight a little bit there, a couple times.
Guess it was obvious. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what was going on. Those crystal things, I've never seen anything like it.
Things get weird out here.
Yeah. Like a horror show.
You're not alone. I've had a couple of moments like that myself. So just want you to know I ain't looking sideways at you or nothing like that. I still trust you to have my back and keep shooting when the pressure's on. But if you need to talk, I've been there. I've frozen up a few times, and God willing, won't happen again, but just want you to know you ain't alone.
Thanks, Dietrich. Appreciate it.
Now drink some more of that bottle. It's supposed to be a goddamn party tonight.
For you, Cap.
Feel like that's probably a good place to close that scene.
Yeah.
What's Miter up to? Which circle is he swimming in tonight?
I mean, he got invited to the dinner, so, but certainly he could do both if he wanted to. He's in a position where he could.
I think he'd feel obligated to focus on the dinner. Yeah. I don't know. Probably mostly just keeping his mouth shut. I think if you looked like under the table, you'd see his like leg just like bouncing the whole time. But like from the waist up, he may appear calm.
I mean, we saw Miter, right, like early on, right, being that nervous trooper and then nervous swimming in those circles. And then as he goes up in rank, right, he, you know, all the troopers who are looking up to him don't see this, but now he's swimming in those waters where he's a small fish again, right? So maybe the old Miter comes back. And I think I mean, some of the scuttlebutt up here is, you know, very, very familiar. It's just talking in different terms, but I think Command are quite worried now about the aliens. Like they've hit listening posts and now they've hit munitions, and they feel like the control of this campaign is slipping away from them. You know, it used to be you'd arrive at a planet and you'd be the ones in charge, and now you're the ones reacting to aliens, and that's not a good way to be. So I think the Brigadier is going to like hit some planets now and do some damage and try to regain their control over this whole business. But it's like you're hearing this, and this is like the Brigadier doesn't know everything. The Brigadier is doing this in order to like win back the morale in the Brigade, right? To make them think that, you know, she is in control and that Terra is going to win out.
Yeah, and like Beatty and Borofsky clearly have a connection. Like they're you know, they kind of let their guard down a little bit at the dinner, because I think like through an intermediary, like it wasn't me that did it, but like Frost got us like an actual bottle of wine from Terra, which is, I'm sure, like some kind of, you know, we paid like through the nose for some kind of fantastic premium for or something like that. But so we have like an actual no kidding bottle of wine. This is not like whatever, you know, like stuff out of a box or a bag, you know, that you know, just like grain alcohol flavored with grape juice and then watered down that they normally call wine, right? It's like an actual no kidding real bottle of wine. And, you know, I'm extolling its virtues and talking about where it came from and all this kind of stuff and everything. And the conversation, when it kind of turns to the campaign and what's going on, Borofsky and I are kind of, or at least BD is like, talks about nothing but the respect that he has for the Brigadier and how she's a decorated combat veteran and how, you know, the rebellion that she put down, it stayed put down. And certainly, you know, if this were an insurrection by, you know, like colonists rebelling, she would be absolutely, you know, completely, nobody would have any question about her qualifications. But, you know, one can't help but wonder whether she might not be fighting the last war here instead of this war. And, you know, a little bit of that kind of conversation, you know, she's brilliant, but maybe this is not the thing she's brilliant at. And maybe trying to get some of that, just get a little bit of kind of whisper mill, like kind of that to sort of be the, you know, the way people start to think about this.
Cool. Anyone else want to add anything more for their characters before we close up? No? Okay, cool. So we'll stop recording and do a quick debrief and then See you next week.